Yo, 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 welcome to OMFL News After Dark. This is your boy Brady Sr. Gonna give you the news this week. Gonna talk about the power rankings. Another too soon playoff race. We're also gonna talk about some rants in the chat. But more importantly, man, we're just gonna get you hyped and ready for the Press Pass Live hosted by my boy Grown Folk Nate. So stay tuned, stay locked. We even got a special guest on the track this evening. My boy Tony Bono coming back from being stoned to death. I know, too soon. But we good. Be right back after this. Peace. Yo, welcome back to the OMFL News After Dark. This is your boy Brady Sr. Well, real quick, man, we're going to do a player spotlight, and my special guest, Tony Bono, is going to go ahead and deliver it for you. So, Mr. Bono, tell us who your player spotlight is.
Hey guys, it's Tony Bono, and let's do a player spotlight, shall we? Mr. Bo. Known for his 99 overall dominating team, or how about the defensive line that just dominated every play? Or how about Madden 20 with the DBs that just sit in your receiver's pockets and every throw you make, even the ones in your dreams, are picked off? Not this Madden, though. No. McCole Hardeman, wide receiver, traded from the Chiefs. 49 receptions. 1,000 yards, 126 yards a game, 13 touchdowns, 2 times more than the next person. What are we doing, laying down, letting him have the TDs? Come on, guys. When it comes to trading with these guys, tell them no. Tell them to go to pick off the free agent bin. We got to stop giving these guys championships. Anyway, all right, back to Brady Sr. and the OMFL News.
All right, guys, man, welcome back. That was my boy Tony Bono giving you a player spotlight. But you know what? We'll be right back after this. Peace.
Hey everyone, this is Tony Bono, and I'm just here to say you're listening to the OMFL News with Brady Sr. Don't touch that dial. I told you, don't touch it. Stay tuned.
Yeah. Welcome back to OMFL News After Dark, man. This is your boy Brady Sr. giving you the power rankings for this week. We are in week 9 of the season, and things are getting tight, especially in the AFC, boy. But let's run through it real quick. We got the Cowboys at 8-0 at number 1. Chargers 6-2 at number 2. The Buccaneers 7-2 at number 3. The Saints at 6-2 at number 4. The Ravens at 5-2 at number 5. Titans 5-2 at 6. Cardinals 5-2 at 7. The Giants 5-3 at 8. The Raiders at 4-3 at 9. And them Jaguars at 5-3 at number 10. Let me know who you think is a pretender or a contender, man. And stay locked in. Peace. Yo, welcome back to the OMFL News After Dark, man. We're going to talk about some offensive stats real quick. Let's talk about top leader in passing, man. Right now it's Tom Brady, 67.4 completion percentage, 2273 on yards, 18 TDs on the year. Close behind, though, you have Daniel Jones and Justin Herbert finishing out the top three. Then, of course, over here at rushing, man, Alvin Kamara, 142 attempts, 904 yards, 19 TDs. And close behind them, you have Matt Breida at number 2. You have Christian McCaffrey at number 3. And then lastly, man, the receiving stats. Hardman, number 1 with 49 recs, 1,014 yards, 13 TDs. But right behind him, man, you have Faulkner out of Chicago and Adams out of Green Bay. Up next, though, stay tuned, man, is the defensive stats. Peace. You good. All right, man, welcome back to the OMFL News After Dark, man. We talking about defensive stat leaders. Let's see. Looks like we're going to talk about our sack leaders first. Von Miller leads the pack with 9 sacks, 2 forced fumbles on the year. Close behind, though, tied for second is Khalil Mack and Carl Lawson. Moving on to our tackle leaders, man, it's a 3-way tie at the top. You have Smith from Chicago with 40, 1 forced fumble. You have Edmonds with Buffalo with 40. And then you have Hightower, New England, with 40. And then our interception leader, it's a 4-way tie at the top with Bunting from Tampa Bay with 6. Harris from Minnesota with 6. Walker from Detroit with 6. And Conley from Houston with 6. But hey, I'm pretty sure we're bound to have a shakeup. Stay tuned on the rest of the season. Peace. Yo, welcome back to OMFL News After Dark. It's your boy Brady Senior, man, giving you the way too soon playoff update. But I mean, hey, let's talk about it, man. We in week 9. So AFC side, man, we have the Chargers in the 1 seed, Ravens at the 2, Titans at the 3, Patriots at the 4, Raiders at the 5, Jags at the 6, and then you have the Chiefs at the 7. Moving over to the NFC side, you have the Cowboys at the 1, Bucks at the 2, Cards at the 3. You have the Lions at 4, Saints at 5, Giants at 6, and Vikings at 7. I mean, hey, let me know. Do you think this is gonna be the design for the playoffs, or do you think somebody's gonna fall out this piece? Just let me know, man. Leave it in the comments. Peace. Yo, man, if you made it this far into the show, make sure you hit the like, damn sure hit the subscribe, and continue to tune in to the OMFL News every week. But the biggest thing, man, is the Press Pass Live is really right around the corner. And we going to get this thing moving on. But stay tuned. This is OMFL News After Dark. Your boy Brady Senior. Peace. Yeah, man, it's your boy Brady Sr. giving you the OMFL News After Dark. Man, we out of here. Grown folk Nate has got the camera ready. I was going to do a ranting segment, but yeah, that ain't this type of show. But I will tell you this, man. Any FPR issues in game, that's what the fucking feedback form is for. If you don't like that statement, you can kiss my ass, because messing with somebody's rhythm in game is bullshit, and I'm gonna call it how I see it. But other than that, man, grown folk is ready. Grown folk Nate is ready. The Press Pass Live is ready. So hopefully you enjoyed the show. Stay tuned, because Nate is about to give you a little bit extra. And also, leave your rants about the game in PMs with Nate or somebody else. Hell, hit my mailbag with the rant. But let's keep it out of the chat, because all you fucking doing is spamming the chat to get those rakes up. I know what the fuck you're doing. Peace.
This is the OMFL.
You can't touch this.
And you're in the mix with Kinda Real Name. Here's another OMFL production.
All right, guys, welcome to Press Pass Live, your weekly podcast show. As always, I am your host, the commissioner, the founder, the idiot who puts in all the work to try to entertain our owners here in the OMFL and in the Madden community, Nate, and I am glad that you're with us. I hope that you enjoyed Press Pass Live. We got a little sneak peek at Tony Bono. I think Maniac is just teasing Tony Bono just to get at me, since I said that there was 0.0% chance that Tony Bono ever made it back. I'm just kind of kidding. I do hope that Tony Bono comes back. I just don't know if Maniac will ever do that. I'm at level 13. I don't know what that means, level 13. Does that mean I'm trash? Is that what that means? Anyway, sorry, chat's going crazy. So as you guys can see it on here, we're going to jump right into it because we got a lot to talk about it. I'm all by myself, and we're going to dig into it. And then maybe I can play my game before this night's over. I'm going to look at my favorite game from this past week in our fire drill. And there are some good ones. The Atlanta-Carolina game was really good. The Titans and Bengals from week 8 was a really good game. Colts and Lions was a really good game. This was a shocking game as Green Bay comes out and just throttles Denver. Buffalo gets away with a victory, though I think that this was a CPU game is what this was. So too bad for Mr. Blue. Kansas City and the New York Jets in a 3-point victory there. You've got the LA Rams and the Miami Dolphins playing to a 5-point game. The New Orleans Saints and Chicago Bears. This is a must-watch game. This one went into overtime. The Chicago Bears defense just rattles me. I have no answers for him at any time. And then finally, Tampa Bay 38, New York Giants 31. So Big Hurt with a massive victory over Mo and the New York Giants. These are a lot of really, really good games. But my game was the game. And I promise you, I did not pick this one because you're ranting about it, Brady. But the Jacksonville Jaguars and LA Chargers. And there is some small drama, I guess. You can see Brady talking about it here in the chat. And of course, he wanted to rant about it during his OMFL news. And we can talk about what that drama is about. But you can see Jacksonville comes out to a very big lead here. They take a 17-7 lead into halftime. They come out in the third quarter and they extend that. What would that be? 24-7. And then here come the LA Chargers roaring back in the fourth quarter with 21 points in the fourth quarter. And both of these teams did what they do pretty well. The Chargers just did their part a little bit better. The Jacksonville Jaguars 108 rushing yards to 87, 331 passing yards to 232, 18 first downs to 17. Only one turnover in the game. That came from the LA Chargers. 6 third down conversions, though, ended up being pretty big time for them. And then the time of the possession actually belonged to the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is the tension point of this game right here. And I can see both sides here. So the tension, we'll just go ahead and get it out of the way, is that Brady was taking and eating the clock up in the third quarter. I guess once, the LA Chargers begin to roar back and begin to score all those points, he wanted to slow the game down and was probably overthinking his playbook. And so I can see from Jacksonville's side of like, I'm just trying to pick plays to get going here. I'm losing. I'm starting to lose. Let this game, the big lead, slip away from me. And I can also get the LA Chargers wanting to say, yo, like you're running the clock down every single drive. And I got to be honest with you, Brady. Brady got put out of shape because Colin sent him a message in the game. I'd have sent you a message too. If I'm in the game with you and you're running the clock down every single drive and I'm trying to make a comeback and I feel momentum is on my side, you bet your bottom dollar you're going to get a message from me. That's not going to be an FPR message. I'm going to tell you, yo, you need to stop running down this clock and let's play this game, right? So I can kind of see both sides here of why they're frustrated. And I don't know that there's ever a good time. I can tell you, I try not to send messages, but me and Colin got put out with me. I'll be honest right here on camera with Colin watching. Colin really pissed me off. And I just felt like Colin way overreacted about a message early on in a game where it was more of a joke of like, he got all the breaks and he quote unquote felt sorry for me. I don't need a damn one of you to feel sorry for me. So let me just go ahead and get that up right up front. I'm a grown man, just like you're grown men. I don't need you to feel sorry for me. It was a joke. And now I know that I cannot joke with Colin at all. And I will not bother Colin during the game, but I do find it funny that the thing that I did to him went the other way. And I can see again, both sides of it, but hopefully these two guys will get over it. Colin pretty much gets over everything. He doesn't care anything about this place. So he just does his thing here. He enjoys his game. He doesn't really stir the waters too much. So Brady, get over it. It's just a message. Trust me, you let that game slip away and that's on you and your team. And you should still be proud that you were hanging in there. Justin Herbert, I'm probably stirring the pot. I'm not trying to stir the pot, but Justin Herbert, 345 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Maniac, go ahead and put your little stupid eyeballs away because I'm ranting about you later with your passive aggressiveness that you do. Minshew with 243 passing yards, 1 touchdown. So both these quarterbacks played pretty good, but Justin Herbert, man, this guy is unbelievable. He is going to be one of the top players in this league for a long time. Don't worry, Robin Penguins, yours is coming too because I feel like all 3 of you guys are in cahoots against me sometimes. Rushing, Eckler 11 for 80, no touchdowns on the day, but a pretty good day, 7.3 average. Thompson 15 for 66, and you can see this is what Brady does, right? He shares the ball, he gets pretty consistent running. I don't know what happened here. I'm saying this out loud now because I didn't pick up on this the first time I checked this game out, but there was an 80-20 rule break here, Mr. Colin, which is shocking. Didn't expect that, but I get it, right? The game gets out of hand early, and you're trying to make a comeback. You're passing the ball a lot, and just don't realize that your backup running back didn't get a lot of carries. So, yeah, we got to fix that. We always got to keep that in mind, and maybe I just added some bullets to Brady's gun that he wants to fire. Keenan Allen, though, this is what Colin does so well. He plays really good defense. I know he gave up a lot of points in this game, but he plays really good defense. And then he's got these receivers that are just outstanding. Now, his other receivers were pretty quiet this game. I'm assuming the one stud who I can't think of his name, he's hurt because he's not on this list at all. But Keenan Allen does his thing, 9 receptions, 149 yards with a touchdown. D.D. Westbrook, 3 for 101. So he had the big play of 64 plus yards or 52 yards. 64 on the day in rack. So pretty good day for them overall. And then the 1 interception came on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Joe Schobert was able to get an interception there and a lot of sacks, 3 sacks from each of these guys. So they were able to get pressure for all the people that talk about no sack and no pressure. Sorry, I'm trying to read. Oh, no, I actually don't want to co-host tonight because I have to decide how I'm going to rant or not rant because I actually don't want to be a jerk. I'm trying to be entertaining. But yeah, you guys didn't let me know you wanted to come co-host. And I kind of feel like I've already got my agenda and I'm just kind of ready to roll. I'd love to have a co-host. Just you guys need to talk and communicate, which is, unless it's a slider issue, doesn't seem to be something that anybody wants to do with me. It just, if it's a rule issue or a slider issue or a drop issue or anything like that, like total communication. Outside of that, though, everybody is complete MIA and it just seems to want to gripe anytime something isn't quite going the way that they want it to. But I'm just trying to be entertaining too and give us something to talk about. All right, let's move into our next section here. As we move into some surprises of this year, I kind of want to move over here to look at a couple teams that kind of stuck out to me as some surprises from the NFC. You guys want to join? Yeah, that's funny. This is not what I want. It's just hard to read the chat and do what I'm supposed to be doing and do this. Why does Madden do that? You talk about rant. This is where real hate should go. Like I like to watch a couple of comedians that are just like these angry comedians because they make me laugh. But this is where hate should go, not towards our other fellow OMFL people, but it should go towards like inanimate or stupid things. And Madden resetting the system to where anytime you come out of any menu, it brings you back to the first things to do. Oh my God. It makes me want to lose my mind. Why would you make it go back to the things to do when I'm way over here in the league section? Just bring me back to where I was in the first place. It makes no sense. So let's get back to where I was trying to get to the standings and talk about some surprises. And all of my surprises, except for one, come from the NFC or the AFC. So let me talk about my one NFC surprise, and it's actually the guy that's in the chat right now. It's the Packers. Now, how can a 3-5 team be a surprise? Well, it's because it's Priest, okay? And Priest is usually like a 2 or 3 win season type of guy because he just slings it, right? We've all talked about Priest. I don't know that Priest ever cares about like winning and winning percentages or trying to win a championship. Priest just cares about getting on and slinging the ball and having fun, which I kind of respect that because like just have fun. And I think too many of us take this stuff way too seriously. This guy included, probably Uno number 1. I take it way, way too seriously. I need to just like chill out and have fun. But when you pour as much time as I do into this place, it's hard to have fun. But anyway, that's what I love about Priest. He's so laid back. He rarely cares. If he gets fired up, it's usually going to be about smash. That's about the only guy that seems to fire Priest up. He slings out there and he'll sling 6 interceptions and throw 6 touchdowns and keep you on a 10-point victory. And so he get a massive victory last week against the Minnesota Vikings. Sorry about the throat, guys. I didn't expect that to ever happen. I mean, Denbrew is such a focused player, a player that studies. He probably got all the breaks against him in this game. But man, Priest is playing pretty good ball. I mean, I jumped out to a big lead against him, and he roared back against me and almost beat me. I pumped the brakes. I shouldn't have pumped the brakes, but Priest is a surprise to me in the NFC. The rest of the NFC is kind of playing out how we've talked about and kind of how we expect it, right? The Seahawks maybe could be a bit of a disappointment. We'll talk about disappointments in a little bit, but we knew he'd struggle with a new team and trying to get that new team in a new division to fit his style. Let's talk about the Ravens, 6-2. They're one of the top 3 or 4 or 5 teams in this league. I think in my power rankings, I put them at number 3. They are 6-2, one of the powerhouse teams. They play amazing defense, is what Nipple does. He plays really good defense. He's got just enough offense to win some games. He's got a dynamic MVP style quarterback. And so he really has all the tools necessary to win in this league. And it's good to see him plugged in, not as active in chat, just as I'm used to seeing him, but he's totally engaged in the season. He's totally rocking and rolling. The next one's going to be a team that's kind of taking a few steps back here, and that's the 3-5 Texans. I think they were 2-1 at one point, 3-2 or something like that. They were getting a bunch of big victories. Now they've had a couple tough losses in these last few weeks, so maybe they've slid down that list just a little bit. But the Texans and Savante, he's playing much better football. He's got this team who's missing some key players. He's, of course, got Watson at quarterback, and he's got a pretty good defense, though it's aging. He's still missing some receivers. He's got to figure out the running back situation. I know he bought the import over, but he's still got to get that offensive line up to speed. So I really think the Texans are a surprise for me in being a 3-5 team, because I didn't expect them to be, 3-13 or whatever the season would be, much less 3-5, and very much still in the hunt this early in the season. And then our boy Dawson over in Tennessee Titans, one of the Arkansas twins of the two Dawson brothers here. They're not really brothers, but they might as well be. 5-3 with the Titans. Again, he's had a couple tough losses here recently, but a top team. He's doing what he does really well. Play really great defense, get a lot of pressure with the defensive line, and run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. If he can continue to stick to that game plan, not turn the ball over, not try to be something that he's not, I do feel like the Tennessee Titans fit his play style much better than most. And I feel like this is going to be a really good team in this league for a very long time. Then the New York Jets. The New York Jets are one of my other two teams that I wanted to talk about. Tim has this team rocking and rolling. I think that sorry, it's so hard to read this chat and do what I got to do. It's like impossible. I wish I had everything in front of me. It'd be so much easier to talk and read what I'm doing. No, guys, I'm totally cool for tonight. Again, you guys don't know the agenda, and we'd be sitting here like trying to fly by it, and those shows just get elongated for no reason. So I promise I'm not mad at anybody. I really not. I'm being entertaining, trying to be entertaining and make these shows worth. I mean, unless you guys just want me to be a robot, just everyone's great and everyone's good, and we will only talk about fun teams, and that's not fun. Okay, so I am being a little entertaining. I do want to go on a little bit of a rant. I'm totally cool though. Don't worry about it. You guys just enjoy the show. The New York Jets are one of my surprise teams. Tim is playing much better football now. It looks like there's some issues that are following him from the deuce. But hopefully him and Maniac will get that figured out. We don't need any more tension in this league. I think Tim is a really good guy. Of course, Tim, I got to commend you just off serious Nate here for just a second to be as brave as you were in the chat. We have, of course, our mental health chat and spiritual health chat and physical health chats. And you were really brave in there to share your story. And I hope that you take the advice and help that was given and keep fighting that good fight, man. It's one day at a time. So hang in there. Go back to Madden, though. He's got his team playing really good. I think they bought over a quarterback, which has really helped their team. He's in a pretty open conference in the AFC that really leaves himself open to make a run here. And then a team that I think I don't talk about nearly enough, but really showed me, look, I know he's 5-3, but really he's probably more of a 6-2 team in my head. He and I played down to a very tight game. It disconnected with 30 seconds left with me driving to tie the game. We didn't have time to play because it was our second disconnect. We had to go sim. Madden decided my team was way better than his and won, but this guy is a baller. He's got his team playing top notch, and I think this team's going to be in the playoffs, and they're going to make some noise, and hopefully the Raiders will be in the playoffs for a lot this Madden, and hopefully we'll get to see them a lot because they've got this team playing really good. He's got playmakers on both sides of the ball, a lot more speed than I expected, and Jacobs is just a monster to try to handle. So those are my surprises for this season. Now I want to talk about some of my disappointments. Now I always find that this is a funny conversation. I remember having some of my co-hosts give me some of your winners and losers, and they're like, I don't like to say losers. And it's just like, just have fun with this, okay? Come on, be entertaining. So I'm going to pick out some of the teams that surprise me with how they're playing. And we got to start right here with Massimo and the Browns 3-5. It's like, how can the Texans at 3-5 be a surprise team and Massimo at 3-5 be a disappointment? Well, number one, it's talent based. The Browns have way more talent, and it's coach based. Massimo has been a much better coach for a longer period of time. Savante's kind of seen it in spurts, but a majority of the time it hasn't been there. And so the Browns are going to be one of my disappointments. You just expected him to play much better football. He's frustrated. He's not getting the pass rush that he wants. He can't seem to keep his receivers catching the ball. I think he said Odell Beckham is in the top part of the league in drops. And so he's really struggling with trying to get this league figured out this year, or this man, I should say. Pittsburgh Steelers and Clyde. This is a team that started out hot, but they definitely cooled off. But then I watched them this week against the Dallas Cowboys, and man, he had one taken away from him. He had Dallas on the ropes. I think they were in the middle or towards the middle of the fourth quarter. He definitely had Dallas on the ropes, down by 10. They were hitting on all cylinders. DC happened. AKA Dawson unplugged, or Dwayne, as y'all know him, unplugged his internet, replugged it back in, and they got to play again. I'm just kidding. It's totally a joke. Don't go freaking tell Dwayne that or if he's on, that I said he unplugged his internet. They had a super unfortunate disconnect. In the second game, they played down to a tight game. Dallas ends up kicking a field goal to win, but it showed me that Steelers have what it takes to win this game. Ebron was making play after play on post and post outs, and it was unbelievable how much he was carving up that Dallas Cowboys defense. But they're still not one of the top teams in this league. He's in the bottom half of the league, and I expected Clyde, with this defense, with the way he plays defense, to be in the upper echelon of this league, and he's not. 223 points against him, and that's just not Clyde football. He even moved around a lot. He played linebacker, he played safety, he played cornerback, he played D-line, he played the other outside linebacker, so he's kind of all over the place. And so I don't know if that's just his new way of trying to mix it up, or if he just doesn't feel comfortable at one of those positions. Then we got to look at our buddy Ross over at the Miami Dolphins at 3-6. Now, we knew that this team, talent-wise, just wasn't there, but he's such a good runner. He slows the game down. He makes you play his style. I thought for sure he'd be better than 3-6 at this point. Again, I think this is more of a talent issue. He's still trying to figure some of the game out, like we all are, but I think it's mainly the talent issue, and I think he'll be right back up there. I just even thought with this talent, he'd be a 4 or 5 win team by now, and with a 500 record, or even but pushing 1 or 2 games above 500. And then that's going to take us to the other team that I think is going to be a little bit of a head scratcher, but they have turned the corner these last 3 weeks. The 5-4 Kansas City Chiefs, and now Penguins is playing better football. He's got that offense starting to play ball now. He got a big win. It's slipping my brain who he played against, but he got a big win, I think, in week number 8, which really showed that he's really starting to find some momentum. He got the sliders to fit kind of more of his play style, what he enjoys playing, I should say. And so I really look for this team to continue to turn the corner. Now, one of the slider changes we'll talk about later that I think hurts this team actually is the speed threshold. Kind of puts everybody on a more even playing field, and his team is known for the speed. He's got speed on defense, he's got speed on offense, and I think he's slowly starting to figure this out. The big part for me is the 244 points far, but where that's turned the corner is now he's 281 for his team, 244 against his team. So he's definitely started to figure out that offense, but not normal Penguins defensive football. He's a guy that's going to be usually top 10, top 8 in the league in defensive football, and he really hasn't been there so far this season. And then it's going to take us to a team or 3 teams in the NFC that really are a big surprise to me. And it's going to be my buddy Rob. Rob was over in Arizona last Madden and was one of the more underrated teams. I didn't watch his games outside the ones I played him, and I just know that when I played him, he felt like a top 5 team. He had shut down cornerbacks, he had playmaking receivers, he had a quarterback that could sling the ball all over the place and still could run if you didn't, guard for that type of defense. But when he went over to the Washington football team, he's really struggled with quarterback play, a lot like their real life team. And that team is really void of some talent in some key areas. I think he's got a really good defensive line to build off of, but he still needs, I think, some other pieces there. But he's a much better football coach than a 2-6 team. Only 150 points for him. 175 is totally that's what I would tend to expect from his team, but 150 points for his team. You got to have better offense than that. And so, look, he still needs some playmakers. He's got to get Haskins to play up to his potential and play better football. But it is going to take more than 150 points to win, 8, 9, 10 games in the season. And the NFC is probably every year is going to be at least a 10-win season for you to make the playoffs, even with the extra wild card. But I think Rob, here's my rant. Look at it. Why would it send me all the way back there? Makes no sense at all. But anyway, I do think that Rob will be the team that's going to have to turn around. And so far, they've been a disappointment for me. And then the team that's begging me in chat to talk about him because, man, he loves the spotlight. Let's talk about it. Maniac at 3-6. This is a disappointment for me. I called Maniac to be right up there pushing for the NFC South because this guy's a hell of a football player, and he took over a team that I thought was going to fit him pretty well. Now, the defense, one could argue, is missing some pieces. I know his offensive line definitely is missing some pieces, but he's got the stud running back. He bought over a quarterback who's just outstanding. That guy made a throw against me that was just jaw-dropping a couple of weeks ago. He definitely has the receivers and the speed. And so I think after this season, he'll have some opportunities to build in the draft, free agency, maybe even make some trades. He definitely has a team, if I know them as the way I think I do, with a lot of cap space. And so I think Maniac will turn things around. I just didn't think he would be in the bottom half of this league in season number 1. I thought he would be much, much better. And then I got to talk about the other guy in the NFC South that's a shocker to me, and that's Bill and the Atlanta Falcons. Again, an older team, a team that's kind of set up to win now, a team that definitely has some playmakers. I think they bought over a defensive tackle. That kind of hurt him, like me, a little bit this season because defensive tackles seem to be nerfed a little bit for some reason. I guess they're wanting you to come and user those guys, and in the OMFL, we don't let you user the defensive tackle because then it becomes OP. So it's just so stupid. There's no in between. It's like either nothing or everything. And Bill's team just hasn't got off the schneid. They're playing really good defense, only 206 points for him, but only 170 points for his team. It's a lot like Rob. You just expect a better production from the offensive side of his team. And they're kind of making it a little bit easier for the Tampa Bay Bucks to win this division because they haven't really been able to push there. So a couple of my teams that I thought were disappointments this early, and a couple of my teams that I thought were some surprises for me, at least here in season 1. And that'll probably change as we move on. So as you guys know, I'm watching the Astros game as we kind of play here. We made some slider changes. I don't know why it said Brady, your boo this man was up for review. So I'm gonna go ahead. I really and truly went back and forth on this because I will admit, again, I don't like the way some of the stuff was handled behind the scenes, but the board's dirty laundry is going to stay the board's dirty laundry. I'm not here to air out dirty laundry. And the honest truth is, man to man, I really respect all the guys on the board. Those are all really good dudes that really want what's best. I just think that because we're all online and we don't really know each other, we don't really know what's going on in each other's life, and we don't really know each other's stress and not stress. And I think because people see me on all the time, that maybe that can send a message that I don't really have a lot going on in my life. But the truth is that I'm working a 50 to 60 hour work week as a training director for an organization. I'm literally online every single day training people, usually 8-9 hours a day. And I'm also the pastor of a church, and it's a new community, and so I'm doing like all the stuff that it takes to do that. And I'm on camera usually 3 or 4 times a week doing that, and I'm usually editing. I'm constantly on my computer messing with something, and then on top of all that, I'm trying to do things for the community in the league, whether they're graphics or website or video content, whatever it is. And so the fact is that I do put a lot into this, and because of that, I'm like any other human. Whenever I'm stressed and tired and things are not handled the way I would like to see them handled, or not the way I would have handled if the roles were reversed, I get caught up in my feelings like everybody, but I got over those pretty quickly, and then was like, I'm just going to rant about it to be entertaining. And then I was like, no, I don't want to do that, because I do respect the guys on my board, and I don't want anybody to feel like this stuff is real and it's personal, because it's none of those things. I just want to be entertaining and have a really good show. I hate these sliders. Maniac, I'm telling you to the camera, I hate these sliders. There's nothing about these that I like, and Maniac is stubborn. And when Maniac is stubborn and he knows I won't listen, he goes and gets other people to listen. And then I get like a gang of people, and then I just, because I want peace, I just fold and I give in. And I get it. I get that the Deuce does its own thing, and the Deuce is now making up their I think the two leagues are getting further and further apart instead of being mirrors of each other that kind of support each other and build two communities. I do think that they're becoming two completely different communities, which is a good thing in a lot of ways. It's good to see how full that they've been this year. There's nothing about these sliders that I like. I feel like the words that were used to me when talking about these sliders were smooth. I feel like it's more clunky, that the animations were better. I feel like the game plays slow, like it's on slow mode, which is not an enjoyable game to me. And quarterback at 55, I feel like now, low rated quarterbacks are now going to, there's no difference between a Drew Brees and maybe a lower rated quarterback, or a Tom Brady, or name one of the elite quarterbacks, and those middle tier quarterbacks. I feel like there's not a lot of difference outside of maybe the pressure trait, which is a big trait. That's a big difference between these two. I don't even know who that is. I'd have to put my thinking cap on, because everyone's name's so different. Again, I need to stop reading the chat, because I can't talk and read the chat. But I would say, yeah, I don't. And this is the last I'm going to say stuff about it. And we're stuck with these. I'm not touching them again. I don't care what the next update does. I don't care if it completely wrecks these. We're sticking with these for this season. It's not true, but I'm not changing them. I'm not testing them again. I'm just, here is going to be my true belief. And you would be hard. I will just disagree with Maniac and with anyone else that tends to disagree with me, and which is fine, right? We're adults. We can completely disagree with each other. I believe if you don't play this game as close to 50s across the board, you're totally not playing the way they built the game. Now, you can not like the game, and you can disagree with how the game plays. This game is built, their updates, their modes, the way they craft this game is built on 50s across the board. If you don't play on that, like zero pass coverage, you're playing with fire, because the next update could jack this completely up, and it's going to take hours of testing, and they're going to chase your tail, because I did it last year. I did it with Maniac. I put in more hours of testing on this than I would even openly admit in public, and it was a complete disaster, and no one was happy. No one was ever happy. So yeah, we went back and forth on this. I didn't budge last Madden on All Pro and All Madden, but the more I play this game, the new game, I'm not talking about PC days, I'm not talking about PlayStation 3 days, I'm not talking about even early PlayStation 4 days. This new game has to be played on All Madden with the amount of talent and play style that we want. I just believe that the idea is we were an all pro league, because in PC days we were all pro because ratings mattered. Then we got into PlayStation 3, late PlayStation 3, things changed, and we had to go all Madden because all pro was like so gimmick down, so easy, just like pick up controller, play now, that it never felt like any real competition. It was a super high score, so we went all Madden to make it harder, to make players make more plays, that kind of stuff. And then I felt like we could take a step back and go back to all pro to make ratings matter. But as you guys seen, we chased our tails with sliders, and no one was happy. And then we went all Madden for the last season, and then the non-all Madden guys were complaining, and just no one was ever happy. The more I played last year, the more I played this year, I just think that all Madden is going to be for the elite guys I know a lot of you may say, well, I'm not elite, but you've been playing this game a long time. We're not, 18 who just picked up this game for the first time. We've all been playing this game a long time. We're the elite, all right? And that game has to be played on all Madden to me. And so I didn't budge off of All Pro till the last season this year. This Madden, I'm probably not going to budge off of All Madden until the last season. If things continue to go in this direction, then maybe we'll try All Pro. I think we've got some agreement that this will work on All Madden. I tested these out with Brady. 3 minutes into the game, I was ready to quit. Brady, you're lucky I didn't quit on you. I only didn't quit on you because I respect you and didn't want to waste your time. But it was a miserable experience. And I was just trying things. I wasn't even playing serious. It's just like, let's see what this does, or let's see what this does, or see how this reacts. And it just plays slow. Like everyone's in the mud. And that's just not a super enjoyable experience for me personally. But we're going to give it a shot. And I think we've got the CPU dumbed down enough for people. I don't ever know that, again, when it comes to CPU games, I love Maniac. I love that you went on a rant about this. I've only thought about killing Maniac like 8-9 times a Madden. But I think we're already way beyond that this Madden, because your rant about CPU games made me want to eat a bullet. I mean, literally. Like, I was like, why are we ranting about CPU games that happen like once a season, twice a season for each individual owner? Maybe not even that high. We just don't have that many. I don't know that it's a CPU skill thing. And I know guys are like, well, the 68 rated quarterbacks going 12 for 13. Totally get it. But I don't think it's a slider issue. It's the fact that they call 3 plays. And they just played the same 3 plays over and over and over and over and over and over. And that's not fun. And that's not enjoyable. But I think we've got them dumbed down enough now where if you play the CPU and you play them legit like you're supposed to play them, you should be able to pick up the victory, as you should. Like, I'm not trying to give you a free loss. I'm also not trying to give you a free win. Here's where I kind of stuck to my own guns here. I did not go at Maniac's field goal sliders. I thought they were too high or maybe too low. I don't remember now, but I kind of like what we had, and I'm kind of sticking to it. The kickoff power I thought was interesting for you, Maniac. It was pretty high, and so I want it pretty low. I think it's already like at 45, you're already kicking it 2 or 3 yards into the end zone most of the time. Injuries are pretty low. I don't like it. I think at 17 we're going to see 0 injuries at all. I think this number probably needs to settle between 19 and 20. I think at 19 there were very, very few. At 20, I've seen an uptick in my one game that I played, but they were already all like short-term injuries. They were not long-term injuries. They were like for a quarter or a drive, or one was for a game. I think this number is going to end up needing to be 19 or 20. This will be the one slider that we mess with. Fatigue, we had already came down because Rob said after one play, his offensive, somebody was tired. So whatever, it wasn't worth the fight. Put it at 60. I'm still seeing people get tired. Not nearly as much as I'd like to, but it's good enough. It's totally playable. Here's the one that I just won't agree with. And I think this is such a big one. And I think this one affects a lot of the other ones. And I just get that from my own play and from looking at other guys who've done a lot of testing. I think the higher number makes the fluidity of the animations go better, and you don't get the clunkiness. And I kept being told that the deuce sliders felt smoother. I'm just being honest. I'm not seeing it. I believe you. I know that you believe it. I know you're going to disagree with me, and totally. Like we are just on different sides on that one. I feel it feels way slower. It totally feels like it's in the mud, and just at least in the test game that I did. I haven't played here in our franchise, but in the test game, it did not feel good at all. Yeah, it just didn't feel good. So we'll see where the injuries, and I'm not going to touch these two at all, but the injuries we probably may mess with. Again, maybe Maniac, he probably does. He's probably got like 18 pages of notes somewhere about injuries in the deuce. So maybe he's got proof of why it needs to be at 17. I think injuries need to happen. Look at the NFL. Like, again, I think it's a beautiful poetic justice if that fits that injuries and drops are all happening in the NFL. It's the very thing that we complain about Madden. Now, I get it. It's a video game. It's not real life. But I get it. I totally get all of that, but I think some of this is it just makes me laugh every time I see top receiver drop a easy pass with nobody around. I just immediately think about the rants in there, or if I hear. Again, Penguins and Rob and I were talking about this. It's been a couple of weeks, so it wasn't a recent conversation, but about injuries. And Rob felt like the list was way too long, and I felt like it was way lower than NFL and was pretty normal. Again, we're not making a total connection there because the NFL's real life. Guys didn't play here to play with 53 overall backups. I'm not that guy trying to get us that there, but I do think there needs to be, because if we don't, D-Money, D-Wayne, Mo, like the top tier guys in this league won't build depth, and they'll just put all their money into starters if we don't have injuries. We have to have them. I also put a little uptick. He had a little uptick in a couple of these, and I did too. So I kind of just evened out these and kept him at 55. Defensive pass interference. I actually don't remember where his is or where mine is. Maybe he in the chat can tell me where's his was and where ours used to be. I think I maybe left this alone. Maybe mine is a tick higher. I think I went with his, or maybe that's the thing about having other commission powers. Maybe somebody went back and changed it after mine and after I changed it back. Who knows? Because that happens, I think. I think we see enough defensive pass interference calls that this should be called. Like in the NFL, it gets called a lot. I'm not saying it should be called a lot here, but it should be called. And so, yeah, I need to go. Matter of fact, I should probably just do that. Look it up. Let's see exactly where we were. I liked it where it was. My game against the Bears, it just speaks to me why I loved our sliders so much. And I know what it was said to me, and they have a point. It was said to me that I have an elite team, at least overall wise, and an elite quarterback. And that's fair. That's a fair argument. No, we're at 51, so I guess I left these where mine were. I think Maniacs is a little bit lower, a little bit different in some way, somehow. But anyway, Lattimore played like a shutdown cornerback, and Faulkner, he really didn't have that massive game that we've been seeing Faulkner have, and it just felt good that for once players played like they should play, and players could step up and have big games. And I don't know that these sliders are going to get us there. And here I know is the big one that I think Maniac and I are way different on. I stand by the roughing the passer helps you with CPU pressure, because the CPU doesn't want to get a penalty, and they actually stop going after the quarterback. We may even come down a little bit more on this. And so it allows for those defensive ends, defensive tackles to really pursue after the quarterback instead of laying up and letting them get that last second throw off. So the lower the sliding allows for more CPU to get pressure. So that's my little rant. It's a mini rant. It's a nice rant. I don't think I was mean. I don't think I said anything crazy at all. And so hopefully nobody's mad at me. If they are, yeah, just tell me. Whatever. It is what it is. I feel like I'm one of the, outside of D-Wayne, who's the nicest guy in the world, and we still bump heads. Like D-Wayne and I still get into it. Sometimes he really pisses me off, and sometimes I really piss him off. It happens. I will always be a guy. I'm never going to respond well to group strategies. So that's just if any of you out there in this league, if you ever want something done, don't go get a bunch of cheerleaders. I just don't respond well to group mentalities. Oh, you'll get over it, Maniac. You hurt my feelings constantly. So it is what it is. Just come to me with your idea. But here's the tension, is that I don't even know a good way to say this, to be totally honest with all of you. Because just as the words come out of my mouth, I want to go, ugh, that's not who I want to be. But I feel like I've earned some say-so here. I've been here for 20 years. I haven't ran it for 20 years, but I've been here for 20 years. And I've put in all the work, not only the OMFL, but the grown folks community. I'm the guy who does most of the stuff around here. So I feel like my opinion should matter. It doesn't mean that I don't have a board. It doesn't mean that I'm not open to other ideas. It doesn't mean that we can't discuss things. But like, I should have a right to disagree and it'd be cool. And I always give in because ultimately this thing is bigger than me. And one day I will walk away from this. I know that I don't like to think about it, but one day is going to come and I'm going to be like, I got to go do other things and I won't be in the OMFL. I won't be in the grown folks community. I won't run these leagues. I mean, that day will come probably when I'm 65 or 80, when my hands don't work anymore, but that day will come sooner or later. And so I try to keep that mindset of this isn't about me. With that said, I don't always like to be the guy that always gives in, where it's never a two-way street. It's always me trying to fill that gap, close that gap, find the middle ground. And I feel like I always have to defend myself, and that's not a fun feeling, to be totally honest. And I won't lie, I don't like these sliders, but I don't care. And if I don't like it that much, then I'll know what to do just like everybody else. And just like I've had this conversation with Brady a billion times. He'll probably tell you in chat. We've talked about Brady's FPR. Oh my God. Get a headache just thinking about it. It's not a tumor though. Brady and his roaming. Brady roams in his sleep. I'm sure if Brady picks up his phone and he's got like one of those, phones where you gotta do the password. I'm telling you, Brady's password goes left, right, left, right, left, right, all the way back. I know it's just a Z pattern all the way back because he can't help but roam even with his fingers. Like he's a Roman fool. Now this madness has taken that away from him, and so we don't get any more complaints. But Brady and I have like went at it in chat about Brady. Why can't you just get this? Don't roam. Then something that was said today. Maybe it was in chat. Brady hears these words, I think, sometimes, and he latches onto them, and then he randomly uses them sometimes as like a soapbox, and they always kind of make me laugh a little bit. Maybe you guys can tell me in chat. I seen Pepper said something about his game, so I can advance this if his game is done. But anyway, it's okay to disagree. And like I told Brady before, I've told Maniac before. Maniac took me up on it once. I've told 00 this before. He took me up on it once. Like, if you don't like things, you don't have to play here. Like, it's pretty simple. There's no gun to anyone's head. This is a free, easy come, easy go, challenge by choice situation here. And if I don't like it, guys, I'll do what I'm telling everybody else to do. We'll hand this baby off to somebody else and do one of these. Wish you a big old thumbs up and walk out the door stage left. So hopefully it doesn't come to that, but I'm not enjoying what I've tested on these sliders so far. Maybe I'll change my tune by next week. Who knows? You guys are probably all right. I just have my doubts. Just personally have my doubts, and that's totally fine. So we'll see exactly where this goes. This had zero to do about Penguins and Rob not coming to be my co-host. Maybe a little bit. I just didn't want to hear. I didn't want to do what we did in chat. At least what I was doing in my head in chat on Saturday when I sat here and just I got so frustrated by the whole situation. I didn't want to do that in person. I just respect Rob and Penguins too much. But I am asking that, I guess I got to figure this out, right? Like my tenure here should count for something. And my words should count for something. And I just get kind of tired of defending why I feel the way I feel. And as I was told this week, I only see my perspective, which is not a lie. It's not untrue. It is true. I only see my perspective, but I think that should matter just like everybody else's perspective should matter. And ultimately, this is my name and my work, and I should be able to make the calls I feel like I need to make. I don't always do that, and I do that sometimes to keep the peace. But hey, Maniac, this one's on you. If this goes south, I'm blaming you and your friends who also pushed for this. And I'll send every upset owner about how this game plays to you, and you can deal with them because I am not. Again, the game is what the game is, guys, and drop situation is a bug. I think it's better. Again, I haven't seen any crazy drops. I've seen videos. I've seen, Bill post some videos. Yeah, that would frustrate me. I get it. But outside of reprogramming the game, I don't think setting things at 0 is going to fix anything. So I could be wrong, though. I will be the first to come on here and openly admit I'm wrong. I have admitted I'm wrong a zillion times. I've told Maniac I was wrong. I've told Colin, who at least twice a season gets under my skin, as I'm sure I'm under his skin constantly. I've told everyone, if I make a mistake and I'm wrong, I'll be the first one to own it and admit it. And I just kind of expect the favor to be, I guess you guys don't owe me that. You do whatever you got to do. But hopefully this makes most of you happy. And those of you who aren't happy, you're probably not going to be happy anyway. So outside of us going back to Madden 16, it's not gonna wait. So, I'm not going to come tell you. If we get into a discussion about it, I'll have it. But I'll probably just ignore you because I'm just sick of hearing the rants about sliders and the rants about the broken game and how you guys have magically fixed it all and figured it out. No one else has figured it out. No one else, Madden themselves, EA can't fix it, but somehow we've fixed the problem by setting it to 0. Come on, Maniac. Even that's a far-fetched idea. But we'll let you live that dream for just a little bit longer. That's Press Pass Live, guys. Again, I hope that. Oh no, I forgot. We got one more thing. Let's get over here to some questions because we did have a lot of questions today, and see what's going on. Brady, you sent me this in chat. Let me see if I can get to it. Oh, no touchy. Yeah, that's how the OMFL wants to. And win for the Seahawks. That kills my Colin. I don't know if you're watching this or if you will watch this later, but I can't get a freaking bet in the gold sheet. Like, what's the deal? It seems like if I make a bet, immediately it's going to be a sim. Just immediately. And I don't know what to do here. Find this message from Brady because this is this question. So here's what he said: the Ravens right now would be on a bye. Chargers and Chiefs, Titans versus Jaguars, Jets versus Steelers. And the Cowboys with a bye. Bucks versus Bears. That would be a good one. Cards versus Giants. That would be a good one. And Vikings versus Saints. That would probably be a terrible one for me because Denver smashes me every time we play. So those are kind of like the playoff matchups as we kind of speak for them right now. Let's see if we can get over to the Daddy Leagues and look and see how it would be right now. All right, so all the teams that we just mentioned, and here are the other teams still in the running: the Bears, the Atlanta Falcons, Philadelphia Eagles, and then you got the Jets, the Texans, and the Steelers. I think the Jets are totally still in it. I think you're going to see a big run from the Steelers, so I think those two teams still have an opportunity. Chicago seems to be getting some things figured out. Smash, I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. Your offense consists of chunking it up to Faulkner Long. That is basically your entire offense, and then playing exceptionally good defense, and it seems to be working for you right now. So I think the Bears are completely in it. The Beal and his Atlanta Falcons are head scratcher to me. Like, he's such a good player, but he's dropped some crazy games this year, and then he's had some big wins. And then the Eagles, I just don't know that owner really at all, so I don't really know what to expect for them. So we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. That's where I kind of view some of those things going, and I think a couple of those teams have an opportunity, but it's starting to get away from a few of them. There are 7 rookies starting or playing significant amount of time. This comes from Dawson. With half of the season already completed, how would you rate them? So he's sent even a little list. Look at Dawson, his little list. Oh my goodness. You got Grayson Stockton, Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa, Derek Dyson, Justin Herbert, Jordan Love, and Jalen Hurts. Number 1, I would take Justin Herbert on my team in half a second. I would give up almost anything to get him. That guy is amazing, and Colin is going to wreak havoc on this league for all of this Madden because of that kid. I think Grayson Stocker is starting to play much better. Again, I watched that game between the Steelers and the Cowboys, and he played really, really good football in both of those games, even before the DC. So I would give Stockton an A. I give Herbert an A. Joe Burrow, I haven't really looked at his stats. I just got to look at his team. I'd say he's like a C plus so far. Tua Tagovailoa, again, same thing like Joe Burrow, probably a C plus. He's just dealing with a lot less talent than the Cincinnati Bengals. I know they don't have a ton, but he still has AJ Green. He still has some good running backs over there. Derek Dyson in Indianapolis, that's a name that I haven't really thought a whole lot about. I think he came over from the St. Louis Rams in Madden as an import. I would kind of give him a C. The Rams have kind of been up and down. I expected to see more from them. Jordan Love, I got to give him a B minus. He plays much better than what his ratings are giving me. And then Jalen Hurts, I don't know anything about it. It's still a head scratcher about how anybody's making that guy a starting quarterback in this league. So I'm not even going to give him a rating because I actually don't know his stats at all. I don't know anything about him. I guess we can go look really quick. See if we can get back over here. This is taking way longer than I expected it to take. Got it open my bag and I was on my rant too long. You can see Justin Herbert right there, just playing some really, really good football. Jordan Love, I mean, again, he's just a toss it up and go get it guy. 46% is going to show you that. With the big yards, that's going to show you that's kind of his whole thing. Here's a guy that's not even on the list, Hunter Woodrow. He's an import that came over. You can see I think we were talking about rookies on this one. This guy's an import who's making some pretty good plays. 8 touchdowns, 22 interceptions. Ooh, I might have to take my C plus and make it a C minus. That's not good football by any body in any stretch of the means. Again, Grayson Stockton, 15 and 14. He's playing much better lately. 43%, super, super low. It's probably that haircut. He probably needs a better haircut. But I do think he's turning the corner, and I would give him a C plus. Here's Dyson, 11 and 11. So actually, he's much better than I thought. I would go with a C plus for him as well. Tua, 3 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Not a ton of interceptions. Good high percentage. He doesn't seem to be throwing the ball all that much. Only 3 touchdowns and 1,400 yards. And here's Jalen Hurts, 6 and 11. I would have to give him a C minus. So if I'm giving out all of my grades, that's where he would kind of be on that one. All right, let's move on to more of these questions real quick. Thank you for the photo too. That made my life way easier. What are your thoughts on the parity at the top of the AFC? Bill, I actually love the parity in the NFL period, the OMFL period in both divisions. That's why I just didn't think anything was broken about what we had. I felt like anybody could beat anybody on any given day. Yes, the drops were an issue, but they were better with the increased catch that we had. I felt everything else played really, really well. And again, that's why I felt like there were no need. The argument was the percentage. I totally get it. But if you're starting Jalen Hurts, you should pass for 40%. That's what he is. Again, I know you could argue about some of these other guys. And I guess there is a valid argument there. But I just didn't, in my opinion, I didn't think it was worth all the changes for that. So I love the parity. And I hope that these new sliders keep us there, because I think it was one of the really fun things about this Madden that people are just not paying attention to, and it's shame on them for that. 7 teams with 5+ wins already, 13 teams at 3+ wins with the expanded wildcard format. With the expanded wildcard format, this parity should make for an exciting second half of the season in the AFC. I think the NFC as well. Again, I think that extra team, it's going to be a little bit easier to get into the playoffs. And then once you get in the playoffs, if you have the slider slot may get us there. But if what we've experienced up to this point continues, where any team can beat anybody on any given Sunday, it's going to be a really, really, really fun playoff season and a last stretch with a lot of those division games coming in that last part of the season. So it should be a ton of fun. Shocks fan says, with the drops, with the drop passes, keeping the scoring down, do you find scoring, grinding it out? Oh, do you find lower scoring? It's impossible for me to read in my old age. where I openly admit that I'm old because I can't read anymore. Do you find lower scoring, grinded it out games more enjoyable? Yes. I think it's a ton of fun that you can have different games. We're not having them every game. You got to score 55 points to win the game. We don't have the crazy, I think it was Cincyberg back in those days, Seahawks, Mo and his Seahawks back in those days were like just, they throw up 55, 60 points. D. Wayne was in his Colts that couple seasons there where it was like every game was 53 to 51 or 55 to 48. Like, it's just not fun. I love that we're seeing some defense. And again, hopefully this new slider set will keep us there. And then finally, Brady said, "Can we get folk?" Oh yeah, I already seen this. No, Brady, this was what I was talking about a while ago. When you hear things that I use and then or other people, not just me. That's not fair. Like this is an innate thing. I've used them with you or in our rules, or you've heard other people, and for you it's the wiggle stick running. I don't think it's a problem. The problem was in the past Maddens, if you wiggled, guys would take really bad angles and you would break long runs. Now, the one thing about this man that I don't like is that you can be really close to somebody and they just won't try to make a tackle. Even if you have that person, you try to dive. And so I think you always have to have a little bit of wiggle. Like we're not robots. Like when I'm playing, I'm not a robot. I'm not gonna press up and then left a little and right a little and then for me, I'm always going to have just a hair, maybe a bit of wiggle there because it just keeps me flexible. Like, okay, like I got a block straight in front of me. I got a player straight in front of me. I need to know if they're going to take that to the right or left, and I'm going to go the opposite direction. I haven't seen anything super crazy. Maybe there are some super crazy things out there that you guys can shoot over to me and let me see. I'm not seeing it. I'm not saying it's not out there. If guys are being really crazy with it, what I have seen a lot of, especially like I was watching the Dallas and Steelers game, is guys like at the snap going 3 holes down, 3 gaps down, I should say. 3 holes down sounds perverted for some reason, but 3 gaps down, cutting from the A to the C at the snap. It's supposed to go up the A, but they're headed towards the C right as they get the ball. I've seen a lot of that this Madden. And some of that I understand. If the D-line gets blown up and you need to hit the hole. But I also think some of that needs to be kept to a minimum because I just think the play needs to go where it needs to go. And if it gets blowed up, it gets blowed up. I am one of them who's made cuts. So I'm not saying don't make cuts. And it's more of an art form than a hard rule. I think the wiggle running that you're talking about, I would rather a guy use what you're calling snake or wiggle stick running than a juke. Because I played the Panthers, and if he hits the juke with McCaffrey, it's working every time. Bar none. Doesn't matter if you have conservative tackle, it's going to work because Madden has given him a high juke rating with the juke move, and it's going to work. I would much rather somebody wiggle run me than using it. And Maniac, he didn't abuse it or nothing like that, but using him as an example because that's one guy that I just played recently. It just felt like every time he did use it, it worked 100% of the time. So I would much rather you wiggle stick me than, or steering wheel running is what we've called it, than you using a juke move every single time. Mean Brady shifting right before the play? I need more information on that one. Bring up the chat here again. I need more information. And then we're going to wrap it up. And then we get out of here. I think half of here is sleep. Talking about Brady. Can we advance? Find out if we can advance. Hey, Brady, I'm about to give up on you, boss. Set the Seahawks, and then we'll go advance this baby. No, we're talking right now. What you mean we'll talk? Talk right now. What do you mean shift right before the play? Are you mean on defense? Like shifting the defensive line or the linebackers? I think with some of that stuff, we get too fine-tuned. We too home, too anal. Like sometimes guys just make last decisions, or they're like looking at the paint on the wall, and they're like, oh yeah, I got to shift. Like sometimes things just happen. If that's what you're talking about. Now, if somebody's like every single play and they're purposely doing something, that's lame. And yeah, I could tell them, hey, don't do that. You shouldn't do anything in this league. I mean, if they're doing it every single play and it's super late, they don't have they don't know when you're hiking the ball. So unless there's telepathy, I don't know that they, yeah, I guess my question would be, where is that line? And if somebody's doing anything in this league every single time, it's lame and they shouldn't be doing it. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's right up the gut runs. If you're running 85 plays right up the gut runs because you have 898 overall offensive linemen and a 99 overall running back, like that's lame. Don't do it. So I don't think anything in this league should be done every play. Oh, I see what you're saying. I don't know, man. I mean, I guess I hear you. I definitely don't. I'm not saying that I don't understand what you're saying. But I also say, like, it's an easy fix. Don't run reset motion wildcat formations. How about that? That's an idea, right? So, like, I mean, yeah. I mean, I know where it's coming from. It's coming from the wildcat because I played you before. And it's part of your offense, which is totally cool. But I just don't know that you should complain about somebody sliding late on a wildcat when you're defending the wildcat, you don't really know how to defend it, and maybe guys are just making the last second. They're arguing with themselves, should a slide, should not slide, should a slide, and they're just making that last second decision when they see where the motion's coming from, which I have no problem with. Like, because sometimes you'll send it from the right, sometimes you'll send it from the left, and maybe that's what they're watching for. Oh, he's sending it from the right. All right, I'm gonna slide left. He's sending it from the left. I'm gonna slide right. You can't get mad at that. I don't see that being a problem. I don't see how that's taking advantage of flaws in the game. Again, we could disagree, but that's my view on it. Now, if there's something other than that we're talking about, let's have that conversation. I hope I just did something right, because I was told that was the last game, and that's the one we were waiting on, and I didn't check anything, so I may have totally just jacked this up. Hopefully I did not totally just jack this up, though. So again, I also hate when he says that. Just so that you know, it feels so sterile and like military. Understood. What? Who says it? Is that how you talk to people, Brady? Like in real life, you're so professional. I know you're like an actor and all kinds of stuff. Like, do you say to people like understood? It just feels like, I don't know. It makes me feel weird. I don't like it. Every time you use it, I don't like it. I'm not saying you got to change for me. I'm just saying how it makes me feel. It makes me feel like I'm in the military, like I just freaking demanded something of you, and you're like, understood. Like, what? No. No. Why did this conversation turn like that? All right. Anyway, you guys have heard me rant long enough. This will be a fun week of DMs or being ignored or whatever is going to happen. Hopefully, everybody's good. I got to play 0-0, which means I'll probably be the last game of the week, and I'm never going to hear from him about when he wants to play. It definitely ain't going to happen tonight. I promise you that. All right, guys. I've ranted enough. Thanks for all the Press Pass Live questions that came in the mailbag. Thanks for everybody tuning in and watching. OMFL News, low key this week. It was low key, but we got some Tony Bono to kind of pick up the energy a little bit. Who knows? Maybe we're gonna see some Tony Bono here soon. And like them, love them, hate them. I don't want to hear about sliders. I really don't. If an update comes out and jacks them up, we'll figure it out. Until then, I don't want to hear about sliders. Just go play the freaking game, okay, guys? Packers and Jaguars needs commentary. It's 11 o'clock. I can't get into it. I'm already being too loud. My family's just like right there. Like literally, my wife is just right there around the wall. No, it would be fun. This late at night would be really, really difficult. So I have to take a pass. But if you guys do them early enough, like a 9 o'clock game one night or a Saturday morning game, I could definitely do one of those. shows, even a Sunday morning game. I've been trying to watch them because I haven't done a commentary game in a long time, and I love doing them. They're actually a lot of fun, and they're one of those things that it would be a great skill to learn how to be better at, but you got to do it. And there's some really good guys out there that just have like the natural voice and natural ability. I don't have that. I have to fight for everything. I got to work really, really hard. So anyway, I don't know why I'm rambling about this now. Pre said one thing, Nate, just answer him and shut up and move on. Okay, that's what we're doing. I love you guys. Have a great rest of your week. If you missed OMFL news, go watch the recording, and I think you'll enjoy it. All right, till next time, guys. Have a really great week. God bless you. Come plug in the chat with us. Let us know your thoughts, and give us a subscribe.